Sitting here with Robert van den Broek,
Mr. Kikker.
one of the originators of the movie Who is Alice?
Yeah.
How did this idea come about to make an international movie about non-duality?
Well, it started, of course, 6 or 7 years ago, when we created a movie together with you, All About Nothing, Dutch version, Alles over niets.
Is it already 6 years ago?
Yeah, the premiere was in 2013, April. And we had, of course, some production work in France. So. And that movie was a success, as you know. Been broadcasted on Dutch television. And then there was a guy who said, I'd like to do an international version of All About Nothing, but then with an original English crew or English cast. And so let's make an international movie. And that's how it started about 2 years ago.
Yeah. And you have found some great actors from England.
Absolutely. Paul Smith wrote the script, and we had a little, when the version was about 50 or 65%, so something in between, we sent it to an audition studio casting studio in London. We need 12 actors, please give me some. And their database, they put a message in their database, and there came about 400 or 450 actors per role.
Oh.
So we had about 5,000 actors who wanted to contribute in this movie. Well, at the end we had about 5 actors per role, so we had an audition in August 2015 of 60 actors. Native speaking English actors, because that one was one of the main. We really wanted to make an international movie with real English actors, so no Dutch actors or French actors who speak a little bit of English, but real native speaking actors. Yeah.
And what is the movie about?
Yeah. What's the movie about? Well, it's a romantic comedy. It's a rom-com. And there is a little bit of philosophy and spirituality in it. There are different layers in the movie, and one of the layers is about non-duality, Advaita. I'm not going to explain what non-duality or Advaita is. There are a lot of websites and you can search on it. But if you got nothing with the subject of Advaita or non-duality, it's even a nice movie or a nice feature to look at. Yeah.
So you don't have to be an expert.
No, not at all, not at all.
No.
It's a nice movie to watch. It's a movie about a family. There are all different kinds of. There's going to be a divorce. There's going to be intrigues. There's going to be a lot of things what happens in real life.
Yeah.
So if you don't like philosophy or philosophy in general, it's even a nice movie to look at. Yeah.
With beautiful people. For example, the lead actress.
Yeah,
Alice.
Ali Bastian. Yeah.
Yeah.
She got the role of Alice, and she is great. For me as a director, she's great to work with.
Why is that?
Professional. She knows exactly. She knows exactly what to do. She knows exactly what to give on the camera. She knows exactly. She follows instructions as. Great actress to work with.
Yeah,
really great.
When is the movie? When can we see it?
The release will be in December 2016. Somewhere over there. We don't know the beginning of December or the end, but in 2016. Yeah.
Is it going to be in theaters?
We still have a discussion about that. We don't know exactly how we're going to distribute the movie. It's going to be via internet, that's for sure. But also for sure that it's going to be played in some theaters. But we don't know exactly when or how or which countries, or we don't know yet.
Yeah. What are your expectations? You've been shooting the movie now for this time. Do you have a good gut feeling?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen today is our rep day. We had a 3-week shooting, and I've seen incredible nice shots, nice scenes, very touching. As I said, it's a romantic comedy. There are great scenes. I laughed how do you say it in English? I laughed a lot.
Yeah.
Great scenes, great comedians work also with this movie, but also very nice drama pieces. Also with Ellie. We also work with a little kid, Summer Jade. She plays the role of Anna, 7 years old. And she's also a great actress. So there is a lot of drama, a lot of comedy, and the combination makes the movie, I think, very nice. And what about my expectations? Well,
what would make your heart make a jump? If 1 to 100,000 people would watch it, or if you got one good recension, or
well, I don't think it's got anything to do with the amount of viewers. I think when the viewers got tears in their eyes of laughing and crying, then I think it's great.
You want to touch people's heart with it.
On both ways, on the comedy side, but also on the drama side.
Yeah. And for you, as a human, are you interested in the subject of Advaita, or has it touched your heart?
It touched me a few years ago already. And of course there are layers of non-duality and Advaita underneath the script and underneath the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're an Advaita fan, as you can call it, you can see the Advaita lines and you can see a lot of non-duality subjects underneath. And that's one of the reasons why I would like to make this film together with Paul and Guido.
Yeah.
And also with Ismaël, of course, because it's not a message, but I really like the philosophy and I really like to translate it into a normal live feature film.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why we created it.
That hasn't been done so many times before. You have the movie Cafe. I don't know if you've seen
it.
I've
seen it. Yeah.
Can you compare it with?
Yeah, there are some similarities in it, and also, for instance, Jim Carrey's movie
Truman Show.
Perfect. Yeah. Also, some lines of non-duality and Advaita underneath.
Yeah.
And if you know the philosophy, you recognize it. If you don't know it, it's a nice movie to watch.
Yeah. So it's very subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's also with this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen The Matrix.
Yep.
People also say that's a non-duality movie. Would you agree?
The blue and the red pill.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. It's also based on that philosophy. But I repeat myself, if you got nothing with the philosophy and you got nothing with Advaita, it's still a nice movie to watch.
Yeah.
And Who is Alice is going to be the same movie. If you don't like it, if you're not into philosophy or whatever, you really get touched by the players and you really got touched by the main characters, and it's a nice movie to watch.
Yeah. Do I understand correct that the working title of the movie was different?
Yeah, that's right.
Who the bleep is Alice?
Who the fuck is Alice? We changed it because we had some signals from different countries or from different distributors. Not that we're in contact with distributors, but it could have been, a bit tricky. And it is a romantic comedy. It's not a satiric or whatever. And a romantic comedy, there are a lot of F words in the movie still. Yeah, absolutely. But to use it as a title, maybe it's too, not dangerous, but tricky. Call it that way.
And for me as a radio DJ, an important question is there nudity in the movie?
There is.
Oh!
There is some. Yeah.
Some? Well,
some.
More than
Not
nothing.
long, but there is some.
Yeah. Anything you want to tell our viewers why they should come and watch this movie? Or who they should bring? Should they bring their new boyfriend, new girlfriend, their grandma, their father and mother? Is it a family movie? Is it?
Yeah, it's absolutely a family movie. Except a few F words that are in it, but it's absolutely a movie to watch. I think everybody will recognize something in the movie.
Because I just saw downstairs, there's all kinds of ages who participate in the movie.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So young, teenage.
Yeah, everybody.
20, 30,
From
40.
a 7-year-old till, I think, Kelly, I don't know exactly her age, but mid-50 or something like that.
Yeah.
The main characters. And it's different kind of ages.
Yeah.
Also viewer. Yeah, family movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Robert.
Welcome, Patrick.
And success with the movie Who is Alice?
Yes, thank you.
Sitting here with my dear friend Paul Smith.
Yes.
One of the originators of the movie Who is Alice? Paul, can you tell us something about this movie?
We've just been recording for 17 days, so everyone is exhausted downstairs and drinking beer.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Who's Alice? It's actually it's a comedy movie, but it's about the non-dual perspective. But it's not really teaching people the basics of it. It's more like pointing to it, but then in a funny way.
Mm-hmm.
And we're making a lot of fun of it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I
So I think some people will be a bit offended.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I can think are there gurus in this movie? Paul?
Yeah, because one of the main characters is a car salesman,
Yeah.
and he's rubbish, and then he gets fired, and he wants to become someone, and he becomes a spiritual teacher. These scenes are so funny.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can we compare it with that documentary movie called Kuma Ray, where
That was more a documentary,
Yeah.
but maybe there are a few similarities. This is really more like a comedy, with a lot of jokes in it, and like two spiritual teachers competing with each other to get the biggest audience and have the biggest poster. And yeah.
We also do a podcast together about the subject non-duality, and you sometimes complain about people who give themselves special names like Mujiji. Is that one of the reasons why you thought about this movie and think we have to bring this to the light? Or
Now, in the movie, we actually make fun of everyone. That's what comedy does.
Mm-hmm.
So we make fun of people in businesses wanting the big career.
Mm-hmm.
We make fun of some women jokes, and an autistic guy is in the movie. So we make fun of basically everything, and I think it's important to keep laughing about human behavior, because it's quite silly sometimes.
Yeah.
But also we make jokes about the non-duality scene, where like the non-duality teachers, they become like pop stars
Mm-hmm.
themselves, having a big crowd and becoming like famous with their own
Merchandise.
like Ujja Krishnamurti would say, their own brand of cigarettes that they sell, you know. And but we do it in a funny way. Yeah. So the main character is called Dick, that's his name, and in the end he becomes Sri Dick G, and then we just he gets his own website. And, because I also make fun of myself in that way, because I also started that way.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter. It's fun.
You wrote the script.
Yes, together. Also with Guido and Robert. Yeah.
Guido is a famous comedian over here in Holland. Yeah. Did he bring in the humor? What was his part?
Guido is a perfectionist, so he's very useful. That when I think like, this is good enough, then he's like, no, we can get it even like not a 9, we have to get the 10.
Yeah.
And he stays sharp. Also, Ismaël, the camera guy, they stay sharp even though they're under big pressure, a lot of stress, and we really work hard.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep aiming for that 10, you know. So we never did any concessions so far, which makes that sometimes you work for 14 hours a day. But now we're so happy that we managed to do this.
Yeah. What are your expectations of this movie, Who is Alice?
To be honest, I've been fully busy with the whole production of it, so there are hundreds of hours that you do in advance, and now that's on tape, and it's going to be really funny, I think. So the next step is to see whether we're going to distribute it ourselves. That's of course also the possibility that we can always use, but we might find a publisher or something. We just have to figure out now, also with my investor, what's the best way to do this.
Yeah. The first movie you did was All About Nothing.
Yeah.
It was made with people, sort of crowdfunding, no? Or people all participated without a fee.
Yes.
This is a whole another adventure for you.
Yeah, it's not like we have a Hollywood budget or anything, but we just one of our friends, he did quite well in businesses, and he just said, if you want to make this, I give you the money,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe we'll somehow get the investment back, maybe we won't. So he's really relaxed with it. But because now we had a budget, we could like get good actors from London, and they have all been flying to Holland, like 15 actors, and we could hire better equipment, get better locations.
Yeah.
So it's the next level actually.
Not to say that the actors in All About Nothing, they were also good.
They were like, the main actors were really good, but we also had like, how do we say that?
Yeah.
B actors, like people who don't really make a living out of it,
Yeah.
but they had some acting lessons.
Yeah.
But these actors, some of them were quite famous in England. So, and like, for instance, Ali Bastian, she plays Alice. Amazing. We were like really amazed by her skills. And she and some other actors, they just make the script better than you would have thought it could be. And that's, as a writer, it's so good to see that, because they play the scene and you're like, my God, they add their little extra humor.
Comes alive.
It really becomes alive, yeah.
And what's the story of Alice? What will Alice be doing in this movie?
Alice is non-duality is like pointing to often people are identified with themselves, how they look, how they feel, how they think, and they perceive all these things to be true, and mostly then you panic and you get frustrated, etc., etc. So Alice is a 35-year-old actress in the movie, and she has had some nice roles, but she just didn't really make it. So there's this frustration in her, and then somehow a lot of things are happening, but she leaves her family, she goes to London to really aim for the success, and she ends up in so many awkward situations. Then so she gets the success, and it gets higher, and just when she thinks I got it all, then of course it's like
drama.
Life is like and then after bumping her head so many times, that we see that she's slowly getting more wisdom, more insights, and you see her going from this really dense being to a more like, okay, let it be. And so it's nice to see that whole process in a humorous way. And then yes, in that way it's a combination of drama and comedy actually. Yeah. And I think that really worked in this script.
You were an actor. You were in screen in the first movie, All About Nothing. Can we see a cameo appearance of Paul Smith in Who is Alice?
We needed one extra standing behind the camera, so I'm visible for 2 seconds in the far out background. Yeah. No, but I don't have a role in it because of my English is, of course, you instantly hear that I'm Dutch. Yeah. So we really wanted to have people from London, because you can tell by their accent.
You're almost finished with shooting the movie. What's going to happen next?
We go to London in July to film the last scenes, and now we will be busy, especially Lindsay and Ismaël, with the edit and the sound production. Mm-hmm. That will be months of work. Yeah. So that's the next thing, and I will be focusing on marketing, distribution, etc.
What's going to be your next project?
Sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was really a lot of fun actually. Yeah. Yeah. But it's so much work.
It's tiresome.
Yeah, but also it made me really happy that when you've got we got 30 people being together, having the same love for this project, and that's what makes you really happy. I mean, today when we had the rap, people just cried like, oh, it's over, you know, and it's so intense being with each other. So I do love working in a group, I realized. Yeah. But then I couldn't do it in a company selling Coca-Cola, for instance, but this works for me. Yeah. If people are interested in
interviewing you or talking to you about the movie Who is Alice, they can reach you somewhere?
Yeah. It's paul@alicethemovie.com. Just or go to the website.
Yeah, so alicethemovie.com. What can we find behind the scenes footage, photographs?
On Facebook, etc. Of course, there's a lot to see, and people can, if they order the movie in advance, and you can even be a gold member, and then you get a lot of extras, and many people do actually, so it's nice. Yeah.
When is the movie going to be released?
December 2016.
Okay.
So.
And maybe also online or on DVD or streaming.
Online, that's for sure, and streaming, but I'm sure we'll have DVDs. But it's tough because in America it's a different kind of DVD you have compared to Europe, so we have to find the best way to do that.
Yeah. And maybe on television, just like All About Nothing.
Yeah, but they could broadcast it for free because it was a zero budget production.
Yeah.
And now we don't have to become rich by this, but at least get the investment back. It would be nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paul.
All right.
Sitting here with Ismaël Lotz, one of the, what should I call you? Producers, camera guy from the movie Who is Alice?
Officially, I'm one of the directors. I'm co-directing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the movie Who is Alice about?
What is the movie about? It's about Alice, and she's a very successful actress, and but she reached a certain age, and the roles that she used to get, she doesn't get anymore. So and that is drama.
Yeah.
And she's, of course, completely identified with the success and the
fame.
And the fame and the awards.
Yeah.
And so she has to figure out who she is.
Yeah. Because the old stuff doesn't work anymore.
No, because the old stuff doesn't work anymore because she's getting old.
Yeah.
And people see her in a different way, and she's not there yet for herself.
So if I'm right, the actress who's playing the character Alice is also playing an actress.
Yeah.
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 So shooting the film was very mind-blowing for ourselves as the filmmakers, because of course we know the script and we know we know what we're doing, but sometimes it's the illusion within the film and life itself making the film are like, wait a minute, are we still rolling, or is this no, this is the film, or are you for real now? It's
mind-blowing.
Yeah.
A bit like the movie Inception, where you have a story in a story in a story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That. Exactly that. Yeah.
Are you involved in the subject of non-duality? Is it something you have been reading about all those years, or how is that for you? I
was on a holiday with my girlfriend. I think eight years ago, something like that. And I had my iPod with me, and I couldn't sleep. My girlfriend was asleep, and it was in the middle of the night, 12 till 1 o'clock. I don't remember, but I was like, okay, what can I do? And I was scrolling down my podcasts, and I bumped into Oprah Winfrey's talks that she had with Eckhart Tolle,
mm-hmm.
and with his book Nieuwe Aarde. New Earth.
Yeah.
And chapter 10, so the last chapter, and it was an hour and a half, and I listened to it for an hour and a half, and I thought, wow, this is all new to me, and I wanted to know more about it. So
mm-hmm.
when I get home, I download the first 9 episodes of that podcast, and I bought the book, and that's how it started with Eckhart Tolle, and then a year later, I think, I saw your podcast that you do with Paul Smith, and started listening that, and ever since that's in my life, the non-duality, the subject, but and it brought me some sort of serenity, serenity, I don't know if that's the good word, but
peace.
Some sort of peace, because I could be very, for example, in traffic, when I was in traffic, like like in traffic jams, I was like, or someone pushing me from like be aggressive, and I was starting to be aggressive, and that's just a small example for me that non-duality brought me more of I can be very mad about this traffic light being on red and me already being late, but hey,
it is how it is.
This is it. Yeah.
What was the hardest part of making the movie Who Was Alice?
The hardest part.
Was it maybe the time you had, or the budget, or the equipment?
Well, there's always the budget, and there's always better equipment, and there's always things to improve.
Yeah.
Also, if you have 50 million or 100 million, there's always like, oh, we should have done.
Yeah. Does it make you creative, more creative?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. The being sometimes. If you are being, how do you say this? If there's I don't know how to say this.
Say it in Dutch.
Als je beperking hebt,
restrictions.
If you have restrictions because of budget or because of time, mostly it's time. Like we have an hour and 10 minutes to finish the scene.
Yeah.
But that can also be a blessing, because then you think, how can we? And then you think of stuff like, oh wow.
Yeah.
If we didn't have that restriction of that hour and 10 minutes, we never thought of shooting it in this way.
It's the same when you go on vacation and you left your purse at home and you still had like 20 euros in your pocket.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a great evening with this 20 euros.
20 euros,
we can do this and that. And if you had your purse with 200 euros, you would say, what shall we do? So,
exactly. Yeah.
So
yeah.
So during the making of this movie, did non-duality come in handy? Let's say in these kind of instances.
Oh, it's a zooming in and zooming out in life, and as if in the filmmaking business, there's there are most of the time there are big egos, but on our set it's very ego to say like, oh, we didn't have any egos on set. Of course there's ego. I want to have the best picture, or the and the sound Linse, the sound guy, wants to have the best sound. So at some points we have to guard our departments,
of course.
And then sometimes you have to put on more of a voice in that. But no, on our, I love our team and the collaboration all together with everybody, actors, but also people from the catering, set dressers, people from makeup. Everybody had the same intention on making a beautiful movie.
How do you know if a scene is if you got the right scene? How do you know that? Is that a gut feeling, or what is that about?
My only it's some sort of a gut feeling I have. If I'm behind the camera, I'm in my viewfinder, and I'm if there's only me being technical, like, am I sharp? Is this sharp? Then I don't know. Then okay, and cut, and then we look at each other, and it's not there yet.
Yeah.
But for example, for this movie, it's a comedy, and if I'm there in my viewfinder, I'm focusing, and I start to laugh, and I forget about the camera work. I won't forget about it because I'm there. I'm still there. Then I know this is a good take, and then we look at each other and it's like, next.
Yeah.
We got it.
That's the magic of movie. You just know when it's right.
Yeah.
Because you react to it as you would sitting in a theater.
Yeah. Or looking at each other as human beings and have a good conversation, look each other in the eye and like,
recognition.
we understand each other. Yeah.
What would you like to see with this movie? Would you, of course, do you think it's going to be a blockbuster?
I want the biggest success.
Yeah.
And a big no. Of course, I want to have a big audience for this film. I hope people will love it, and it's. I'm not there yet on thinking on these kind of things because I have to edit the whole thing also. And
how many material do you have to throw out?
I don't want to think about it.
Do you have like 3 hours movie or so? Or?
In raw material?
Yeah.
No, much more. 17 times more.
Yeah.
Something like that.
How do you know what to pick?
Well, we have that's a practicality. It's we got this clapper.
No, but I mean, which scene to delete and which scene to keep? Or is it the storyboard and you're going to stick to that?
No, it's not the storyboard. Of course, we have our administration like, okay, take 6 of scene 3 it's a heart. It's like, we love that. But I will watch it, all the takes anyway, because, okay, first the favorite, I will try, and then I will look at the edit and then I'll think, okay, let's watch the other 6 takes, and maybe there's some magic there that we didn't notice on set, because you only have this one moment in time and you can miss things, of course. Yeah.
The movie is going to be released in December of this year.
I hope so. We have a lot of work to do. Yeah.
What do you have to do? Sound?
Oh, first the edit. The edit will take me some weeks to do. There's a lot to edit, and then we have sound and color grading and some visual effects to do. Not big special effects or visual effects, but like Photoshop. If you will, some things out that I don't want to see, or like reflection in a car. I have a shot. It's one of my favorite shots of the movie on someone stopping after. There's a scene in which our main character is mad and she does something. I won't spoil that, but she goes in her car and then drive somewhere and then she brakes the car, and I have this shot on her from the exterior of the car, of the tire going into the frame. So I have an empty frame of the road, and then the wheel of the car slides in like when we shot it, and it was the first take. I was like, oh, and I have to finish the shot because I have to go. I was handheld and I have to go up towards Alice, but there's a reflection of me and people behind me, of the crew, and there's techniques on polishing that out. So these kind of things. Yeah,
but it's not a sci-fi movie with aliens coming from space.
Or maybe it is, and you never know.
You never know. Thanks for this interview.
Thanks, Patrick.